Hello, everyone. Devin Herz here. We've got an amazing show for you today. If you are looking to improve your business, you need a plan. Well, on today's show, we have a special guest coming all the way from Sydney, Australia to share with you 5 areas to help you kickstart 2021 by building a marketing plan in 90 days. Welcome to this week's DMC Marketing Nugget. Today, we are excited to bring on best-selling author of Got Attitude and the 90-Day Marketing Plan, coming live from Sydney, Australia, Cody Butler. Great to have you here, Cody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on, Devin. It's a privilege to be on your show. Thank you.
Well, it's been great to learn about you, what you've got going on. That's what I love about this show, is that not only are we educating our viewers, but I'm also learning as we go as well. And you recently put out a great best-selling book called The 90-Day Marketing Plan. Is that correct?
That's correct, Devin, yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about you and maybe some of your background. I know you've had some trials and tribulations through the years and really figured it out to take something from nothing and really make some great things. So why don't you give our audience a little bit of your background?
Yeah, so basically I started out, I had a series of businesses that didn't do too well until I arrived, I think, at 2009 when I was making about $9,000 a year. And I went to see my parents one day, who lived about an hour away from me. And as I was leaving, my mother handed me $20 and said, "Take this $20, Cody, because I don't want you not coming back for another month because you can't afford the gas money." And I took the money shamefully because she was absolutely right. I wouldn't be back for another month because at 35 years old, I couldn't afford the gas money. So I resolved at that point to really change my life and solve those problems. And cut a long story short, I ended up I said to myself, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to get an income. And I ended up working at a marketing agency and took a lot of those skills, started working with some friends' businesses. I had some friends who had some businesses, and there's probably 100 plus clients in that business. And I got to see inside what was working, what was not working. I got to see a lot of stuff most people wouldn't see it. And I had my friends' businesses that I was helping with. I ended up going from making $9,000 or thereabouts in 2009 to just a tad under $200,000 the following year as a marketing agency, and kind of went from there until growing my own agency after that point. Then I started teaching other agencies how to get results for their clients, which of course this was high dollar stuff, and I wanted something that I was able to bring to the masses, because most businesses, I would say 99% of businesses, they're great at what they do, they're not great at marketing. And unfortunately, if you're not great at marketing, the world will never actually figure out that you're great at what you do, because they won't get the chance to see that. So that's why I came up with the 90-day marketing plan. I wanted to give a usable, proven process that will work 100 times out of 100 if you apply it to your business.
I love hearing that, because we have clients that come to us all the time. And I mean, it's basically like if you're getting in the car and you have no idea where you're going, it's very hard to get there. So I would say that having a plan is got to be the first thing. Of course, you can work on a couple of priorities while you're going through it, but having a solid plan and knowing where you're going is going to help you get those achievements where you need them to be. And I think that the 90-day marketing plan, when I hear that, it's like, okay, how do we go ahead and do that? So I love that you're going to share with us some insight on that. And then, of course, people can get your book as well to read more and find out more about how they can do that. So today we want to talk about 5 areas to really help people. We're coming towards the end of the year, so kickstarting 2021, finishing the year strong, of course, has been a theme of our show the last few weeks. So why don't you go ahead and kick off things with the first area that you want to talk about and really what you recommend for our audience.
Yeah, so the biggest opportunity for any businesses, their existing database or prospects that they have not been able to convert into a sale in the past. So I would say the number one thing, if you take away from what I say, is like, sales takes longer than what you think it does. The marketing process takes longer than what you think it does. And most people quit. They just simply quit too soon. And you have to understand, it's like you love languages and stuff like that. Well, there are marketing languages and sales. Like, you have to understand what people are saying. And a lot of times when people say no, they're not actually saying no, they're saying not right now. Would you like my marketing service, Devin? No, Cody. It's like, well, you're not saying no, you're saying not right now. Now it's not a good time. So you just have to understand that. And the fact that 50% of people that inquire of a product or service will actually purchase that product or service within an 18-month period, but only 15% of those buyers will make that decision within the next 90 days. So if you don't have a process to follow up and engage those prospects from day 90 to day 560, which is 18 months, you're actually leaving 85% of the available money on the table.
Okay.
So if you think about it, if you go to a furniture store, anybody going to a furniture store and looks at a couch, the majority of those people are going to buy a couch at some point in the next 18 months, right? But not that many will buy today. So the first opportunity, Devin, is like, go back to your existing database, go back to your existing list, go to your shoebox, pick out your business cards, go to your LinkedIn connections, go to your email list if you've got one, and just send out an email and say, hey, are you still interested in whatever it is that you were interested in at some point, and just start a conversation again.
Yeah, the results, everyone wants the on-demand instant sale, and we know that there's a sales process, and some may be shorter than others, but the staying out there in front of them, and I see it all the time as a customer. Someone comes out to give us an estimate on a pool that we'll eventually have behind me here, and some of the other things that we're looking to do, and there is barely any follow-up whatsoever. So even though they may be busy, but just imagine if they did follow up, they can multiply their revenues big time. So reactivation, hitting your current clients, being able to get them to purchase more, upsell your current clients that are already maybe even do business with you is always a good thing to focus on. All right, so moving to number 2, this is a big one here, and I'm sure as business owners, you all heard this. This is the 80-20 rule. So give us some insight on how you envision the 80-20 rule on your side.
Yeah, so the big thing about marketing or growing any business is we want to apply force and effort where it's effective, right? So for anybody who's not familiar with the 80-20 rule or the Pareto distribution, the Pareto principle, it says 80% of the results will come from 20% of your effort. 80% of the sales in your marketing will come from 20% of the ad spend. 80% of your complaints will come from 20% of your customers. So the key really is to figure out what is the 80-20 of your entire business. So what I mean by that is which products are the most profitable. If you have a look at all of your products or all of your services, you'll find that one product is much more successful or much more profitable or sells much better than 80% of the others. Which are the most profitable products? Which is the best route to market? So I like to go through and have a look at products, route to market, employees. The Pareto principle applies to every aspect of everything. 80% of the results will come from 20% of the input. So by doing that and actually identifying what's working in the business and doubling down or tripling down on it, we can double, triple, quadruple our results with no additional input, or we can keep the same amount of input and really, we can reduce the cost and keep the results, or we can really start to scale at that point. So figure out what works and double down on it, basically.
Yeah, and I think I've heard you say in the past too that even once you get that 80-20 and that vision of what you're trying to sell, you can even break that down even further and continue to hit people. And I think that goes true with even current online marketing, right? We want to get out there to everyone. We love the new leads that come in, but being able to take some of the analytics and seeing what people have done and the people that are really following you, the people that are looking at these videos, the people that are opening your emails, hit them more, stay in front of them more, pick up the phone to call them. So these are just the rules that I think that everyone should live by when they're in business. So I love that you're hitting on all these. And I think that everyone there that's at home or at their business right now listening to this, take some good notes on this, because we're on to our third one now here, which is clarity, having a focus, having an understanding of what we're looking to do, what we're looking to accomplish. Cody, give us some insight on that.
Yeah, so clarity is a force multiplier. Clarity brings, it's the key to everything. So if you have a map will take you to anywhere you want, but there are two things you need with a map. You need to know your starting destination, and you need to know your finishing destination. If you have a starting point and a finishing point, then the map will take you anywhere you want to go. You can go anywhere in the United States, wherever you are, based from a map, based on where you are to where you want to go. But you do have to have that clarity of what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And where do I want to go? Because with all marketing, really, I would suggest, we're talking about marketing here, but life in general, it's like, always start with the end in mind and work backwards. So a lot of times I'll start working with a new business, and they'll say, well, what do you want? What is your outcome? And they'll go, that's interesting. It's like, and then after a few sessions and they say, okay, this is what we want. It's like, okay, well, let's look at your current process, and it does not support the outcome in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So the key is really you've got to know where you want to finish. You've got to know your destination, have real clarity and focus about that, because then that's going to guide your decision making process. If you want to achieve X by the end of 2021, then you that's your destination. Then you judge every decision and every opportunity based on that destination. It's like, does this opportunity support that destination? If the answer is no, well, you know what to do, right? Get it out of your business.
Exactly. And I think you brought that up too. And of course, I love studying what you have going on. So, not only in life, right? If you want to have more time freedom, those are things that you put in as clarity of what you want that to look like and how you get there. So, whether that's being able to reduce your work hours, be able to reduce your workload, focus on the right things. And then also on a money end of things, let's just say we want to do $100,000, $200,000 in revenue a month, figuring out that number and that yearly goal and then working backward from there. I believe you had mentioned even breaking that down to where you know exactly what you need to make per day, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a lot of times, I mean, people just go money. People just think in terms of money. It's like, well, what do you want? And one of the things that really helped me a lot when I was starting out, I started with the destination. So I didn't go, oh, I want a marketing business. I want to be a marketing consultant. I said, what do I want? And it's like, well, my wife's Australian, I'm English, so there's going to be a lot of travel involved. So I'm like, I need a business that's mobile. There's going to be this amount of expense, so I need this amount of money in the business. I would like a business that's free of government regulation. So I didn't go, oh, I want this type of business and then try and shoehorn everything into it. I said, these are the conditions that I want in my life. Now, what business fits those conditions? So knowing what you want, why you want it, and the conditions around it are going to be huge, because there's a lot of stuff that you're doing right now that does not support what you want if you actually think about it.
Oh yeah, I find that very hard with all the distractions, so many different moving parts within a business that you get sidetracked and you forget to focus on the things that are going to help you get to those goals.
That's right.
So it is very, very hard to do. But I think as you have that clarity and you put those down on paper, have them in front of you on a regular basis, and you make sure when you're spending time on something, asking yourself those questions: should I be working on this right now? Is this going to help me get to that goal? And sometimes it's going to take some time for you to delegate out to other people to help you out. But those are things that'll really help you get to those goals quicker. All right, so we've got 3 under our belt here, and now we're on to the 4th. This is a word that I think we've heard almost in every episode since Corona and things going on. So go ahead, Cody, tell us about number 4.
Pivot. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, well, thanks for that useless information there. It's like, to give somebody some information and no way to actually implement it. So what does pivot mean, or what does pivot mean to me? How do you pivot in your business? Because we do need to pivot right now. So on a very practical sense, let's start out with what that doesn't mean. It doesn't mean, if you're a car dealership, sell all your cars and go open a restaurant, or if you're a restaurant, go open a post office. That's not what pivot means to me, right? So pivot means, and you want to be doing this all the time. That's not just in this current climate. Pivot means be aware of how consumers are consuming your content, consuming your products. So, for example, with me in the marketing space, it's like, are people, or where people were consuming my information in terms of, I want you to take this information and do it for me, which is a high dollar consumption. Now it maybe has pivoted to, I want you to share this information with me so I can do it myself. So it's the same information. It's the same customer base. I've just pivoted on how that information is disseminated. So people out there are consuming the information in a different way. Now, the person that would have bought a high ticket done for you service still will. The route to get in there is just a little bit different these days, right? So there's a few ways you can look at this. So it's like, how the information, how what you do is consumed is one way to look at it, or what is consumed. So let me give you a few tangible examples. So if you're a financial advisor, for example, the pivot can be from the focus being in your business and your marketing specifically on aggressive growth. We can help you aggressively grow your portfolio to defend and protect. So you're still selling financial services, it's still a product that you had in your quiver of arrows, so to speak. But now you've shifted from aggressive growth, that people don't really care about this point. They're not like, grow my portfolio. They're like, make sure I keep my portfolio, protect it. A dental office might go from focusing on cosmetic dentistry to emergency dentistry. They might go, hey, look, lockdowns here, there, and everywhere. In a lockdown, we can only do emergency. So let's make the focus of our marketing not cosmetic anymore. Let's pivot to making the focus of our marketing emergency.
Right.
Change
Change is hard. Yeah, change is hard for a lot of people. So I know that's one of the things, but I've seen it time and time again where people just don't understand why they're getting the same results, and that's because they're not changing. So even the restaurants out there that are suffering, the barber shops, I mean, there's ways that you can be creative to get people back in the door. Was there another point that you wanted to bring up there on Pivot?
Yeah, no, the other way is like the dissemination of your informational product. So it's kind of like, maybe it was foot traffic in an online on a physical location to online. So the pivot there would not necessarily be a pivot of to a different business. It's a pivot of how your product is actually received or delivered. That's the other pivot.
Okay. Yeah, and we're helping people out with even building apps. Like right now, we have grocery stores and they're not getting as much foot traffic, and even these little mini marts. So we develop apps to help them with inventory, be able to sell that online through an app. They're able to put their order in, whether it gets delivered or simple pickup, no touch pickup. But that's an example of pivoting to still bring in business, bring something different to the people that were already shopping with you, and just ways to make sure that people are understanding that they can still shop with you. They don't necessarily have to come in. So I think that's a great point there as well. Now on to our last point here, and figuring out how we can dominate. So number 5, Cody, let's hear about that.
Yeah. So choose one route to market, and really, so this is kind of a combination of all of the points that we've been talking about, right? So your best route to market is, well, look at the 80-20, what's working. So basic premise that I love to say is, if you chase 2 rabbits, you'll catch none. Figuring out one route to market is difficult. Figuring out one platform is difficult, and most people, they try to do too much at one go, and they fail. So it's like, really, and this is what a plan is, right? It's like understanding our previous 4 points. It's like understanding your 80-20, understanding who your best clients are, understanding what your focus is and what you're trying to do, and that's gonna inform and educate your route to market. So you want to pick one route to market and get really, really, really good at it. You want to really focus on it and get really good at it. And maybe that's Facebook, maybe that's AdWords, maybe that's direct mail, maybe it's email. It's like, people go, well, which is the best? It's like, well, what are you trying to do? You trying to hang a picture? Are you trying to cut a piece of wood? It's like saying, which is better, a hammer or a screwdriver? Well, what are you trying to do? So figure out what's going to work for you, and master that route to market.
Right. And it's hard because now there's so many channels and trying to keep up with the times. I mean, 1 minute you're Facebook, that's the hot thing, which is still pretty hot. Then we got Instagram, that may be becoming a little bit hotter. And then guess what? Here's TikTok. So now we got to learn about TikTok and try to figure out how we're doing dances in front of people and advertising our stuff through TikTok to a younger generation. So, I mean, that comes up to pivoting as well and understanding where you need to be, what you need to be focusing on. It's hard to do everything. I would say that, reaching out to Cody or myself, we're the ones that help our clients, guide them really on which way they should be focusing on. And it's, sometimes you got to sprinkle things around, but really being able to put most of your energy into one area is going to help you. I know it's fun trying to figure everything out, but that's how you stay in the same spot. So making sure that you have that one route to market and really help you dominate and kick some butt in 2021. So, knowing what you know now, and if you could really give advice to yourself 10 years ago, what would that look like and sound like?
Yeah, so it would be enjoy the ride. So
Okay.
the vast majority of things that I stressed about and worried about, and I'd have a good sized client, and I'd say something silly or I'd do something stupid, and I'd end up losing that client. I would just think it's the end of the world. It's like, it's not the end of the world. It's like, in reality, looking back, it's like everything that's happened has happened for a reason. And with 2020 hindsight, I can see that all of the things that happened at the right time, in the right order, in the right way. And it would be, just enjoy the ride. It's like, we've got it good as entrepreneurs. Even when times seem to be bad, it still beats the job. We still have it better than people that have to go to the job every day. So you just enjoy the ride, and be grateful that you're in the privileged position of being an entrepreneur.
Love that. Yeah, I think it's great to just know that you got to enjoy life, and what you're working for and enjoying what you do every day. I mean, yes, you're going to have your hardships, you're going to have your ups and downs, you're going to have your clients that are tough, you're going to have your team that may give you some problems and headaches here and there. But if you think about all the stuff that you've been through in the past, all that stress and anxiety, you got through it. You're here today, and you're still going to get through what we got going on right now. So love hearing these tips and just the strategies to really help people build their business. So Cody, how can people get a hold of you? I know you got this great book. I want to make sure we put the link out there to everyone. Give us some of the contact details and how people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so for your listeners, Devin, I'd like to give a 100% free copy of the book to them as my way of saying thank you to you and my gift for them. So that's a digital copy. You can get that at the 90daymarketingplan.biz/free book. Okay. If you'd like the physical hard copy, Amazon's the place to get that. I'm available on all social media platforms. Search Cody Butler, and I have a podcast too, Small Business Marketing Made Easy with Cody Butler, which if you want some more tips, I put out an episode. I try to put out 1 or 2 episodes a week. I try to be as consistent as I can be with that.
Well, I appreciate all the nuggets. It's great to talk with you. I look forward to working with you further, helping ourselves out with our business and our clients' business. So we're just going to do a quick little recap. 5 areas that you can really focus on to kickstart 2021. Number 1, go get his book. But number 1 is reactivation. Number 2, the 80-20 rule. Focus on those that are spending the most time looking at your materials and that are spending money with you. Number 3, clarity. Make sure you have a vision of where you want to go so you can get there. 4, don't be afraid of change. You got to pivot, you got to change, you got to evolve and do things differently to stay fresh and stay out there in a way that people can find you and make sure that people know exactly what you got going on. And then number 5 would be choose one route. Don't get distracted by all the different things out there. Choose one route and make sure you go after that route and dominate. So Cody, it's been a real pleasure. We appreciate you joining us. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to us, leave your comments below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll be right back here with another DMC Marketing Nugget next week. Thanks for joining us. Have a great time, Cody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me on, Devin. I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.